So the government of California is now recognizing that actually forest management is an important part of mitigating the fire danger in California that has last year killed around 100 people. The governor Newsom declared an emergency and has announced environmental waivers for certain environmental regulations that impacted the forest management projects. So the California fire experts and firefighters proposed in a report a bunch of policies that could be implemented to reduce the risk to humans for the next fire seasons. And part of that is clearing forests, maybe even prescribed fires, and so on. And so this is sort of a 180-degree turn to the previous narrative, which was, oh, climate change is just making fires more dangerous in California, and now we have to deal with climate, and we can't really do something about it. So it's getting out of the passive note that we just have to live with the fire danger in California, and we need to try not to change the climate too much in the distant future. And of course, some of the environmentalists were against that, notably the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, the Center for Biological Diversity, and Sierra Club argued against that, and they said, well, this will have unintended consequences and maybe more mudslides because fewer trees are present in the forest and so on and so forth. So they are against that. But I think this is really reckless because these fires are actually killing people in California, and any kind of climate policy cannot in the immediate future help with that. So California needs to get out of this passive stance of we can't do anything, and start to actually control and master the fire danger there.
It's important to note that these groups have a very strong vested interest in destructive wildfires because the more any negative climate related phenomena exist and the more damage they do, the more people can leverage the current narrative to blame it on fossil fuel use. So if we had 5 years in a row where really really good forest management led to a decline in wildfires, of course they would, or wildfire damage, they would evade it, but it would be harder for their fundraising. Just like you don't hear them talk too much about the drought in California anymore because we get gotten so much more rain in the past several years. So they would probably switch to something else. But in general, there is an alignment that people have, that many people have in terms of their status and their money with the with actual climate related damage or even with perceived climate related damage. And that may sound harsh. It doesn't mean that everyone is going to act on that incentive. Although you do notice that there's almost a glee when these things happen because it's, oh, don't you see that fossil fuels are screwing the world? And it's definitely people feel a lot of affirmation. And I notice sometimes when I watch people and their different reactions to things, I notice, yeah, they just seem a little bit too happy about this negative thing going on. And I can see, yeah, this person might not think their life was too meaningful if there wasn't this evil fossil fuel industry to fight.